a question requesting for a clarification. This is Tessie writing, and she's saying, I need you to help me clarify this. I have always believed, based on what we were taught in our church, that marriage is for better, for worse. However, it gets me confused whenever the church dissolves the marriage bond between couples that have been married for some years with the claim that they were never married. So we got this, got the request of Tessie asking for clarification. Yes, it is true that the church sometimes annul marriages, not dissolves, because there's a difference between dissolution of marriage and annulment of marriage. But we don't want to go into a decision between annulment and dissolution. I don't think Tessie is interested in a decision right now. But what we want to look at is a marriage, a valid marriage. We always have heard it, the words of Jesus, that what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. That is when the marriage is valid, meaning God has joined it together. And in the church's law, precisely Canon 1057 tells us what is required for a valid marriage. That is, 1057 will say, marriage is brought into being by lawfully manifested consent by those who are legally capable. So you first have, the first thing is that for a marriage to come into being, there must be a lawfully manifested consent. There must be a consent. And the consent must be lawfully manifested. And then the third aspect is that it must be among those who are legally capable. So you first have a consent that is lawfully manifested. Then the third element, those who are lawfully capable. It is when you have these three elements that you talk of a valid marriage. So in a situation where you have manifestation of consent, and the consent was not lawfully or not lawfully manifested. There was a consent, manifestation of consent, but it was not lawfully manifested. In which case, you will have defect of form. The marriage is invalid because the consent was not lawfully manifested. Or you have a consent that is not well formed. In which case, you have defect of consent. So because the consent is not valid, the marriage is invalid. Or the consent is valid but was not lawfully manifested, the marriage is invalid. Or the consent is valid, lawfully manifested, but those who manifested the consent are incapable. So you have an invalid marriage. So there are three traces or three key aspects to valid marriage. One, the person must be capable. The person being capable means that the person does not suffer from impediments. If the person manifesting consent suffers from impediments, it can be impediments of impotence, Canon 1087. It can be impediments of consanguinity. It can be impediment of affinity. It can be impediment of adoption. It can be any of these impediments. Even if the person comes before the church's minister and manifests their consent, because they suffer from impediment, the marriage itself is invalid. Or the person suffers from defect of consent. They manifested consent, but the consent is defective. Why? Because the consent can be defective on account of deceit. The man deceived the woman, or never give a wrong self-image of himself to the woman, so that the woman accepted, thinking this man is this type of person, whereas she is deceived into manifestation of consent. So the consent will be invalid because the consent is defective, is an attribute of deceit. Or you can have a situation where the person is capable, the consent was well manifested, but the form, the canonical form, was not observed. That is in case of Canon 1108. So once the canonical form is not observed, the marriage is also invalid. What are we trying to say? That in all these situations, there was no formation of marital bond. So the marriage never existed. These are the situations in which you see somebody thinking, I married, whereas there was never marriage because there was no marital bond formed. They thought they were married, but in the actual sense, they are not married. So this is the situation where you have annulment. The law presupposes that any marriage contracted in the church is valid. But if you feel your marriage is not valid, you go to the church, to the tribunal, and ask for annulment of your marriage. So the tribunal will look at these three aspects. Is the consent valid? Is the form of celebration valid? Are the person who enter into marriage capable? If there is any defect in any of these three aspects, then you can have annulment. However, when the couple come before the church's minister and exchange their consent, there is, when the consent is valid, that is observing the three characteristics or the three elements, there will be a formation of a marital bond. But that bond, at that stage of exchange of consent, we call it a ratified marriage. The marriage is ratified, not yet consummated. And so when you have a ratified marriage, the bond that is formed enjoy intrinsic indissolubility. That is, the couples themselves cannot destroy the bond. But the Pope, as the vicar of Christ, in Canon 1142, has the capacity to dissolve that bond because it enjoys only intrinsic indissolubility. It's not enjoying also extrinsic indissolubility. But when the couple, after the exchange of consent, has a relationship, that is conjugal relationship, according to the human nature, this bond now form, now acquire both intrinsic and extrinsic indissolubility. At this stage, the bond becomes absolutely indissoluble. It enjoys absolute indissolubility. And these are the situations whereby not even the Roman Pontiff can dissolve that bond because it is what God has joined together. So not all marriages that go to the tribunal are not. When the tribunal says that that marriage is valid, it enjoys absolute indissolubility. The tribunal will recommend to the couple that please, your marriage is valid. Try to reconcile and continue, because marriage, besides being an institution, it is a sacrament. It's not only a contract, but it's a sacrament. It has been elevated by Christ to a sacrament. So the couple has to continue, for better, for worse, according to your question, until death do us part, because that marriage is valid, enjoy absolute indissolubility. There's nobody on earth that can dissolve that marriage. I should, with this explanation, I hope this is gotten the explanation of what you are requesting and what the church is doing. What the church is doing is actually looking into the marriage to see whether the marriage is valid or not. And the church has no power to dissolve a marriage that is valid. I mean a marriage that enjoys absolute indissolubility, because nobody can dissolve it. But the marriage that has not formed, that the bond has not been formed, the church will make a declaration and telling the couple, sorry, you thought you were married, but your marriage never actually existed. And this is what we call annulment. In case you still have other observation or you're not clear on one issue,